At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM, Channel 375, all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago, on the air until 3 Eastern. If you want to call or text the show, it's an all-calls welcome Friday, a feel-good Friday with Bleck Abdalla. You can call us at 310-840-4910. We feel great, but I do feel like as we start the show here on a Friday, Abdalla, we need a bit of a vibe check on the show.
The mood is down for some reason.
Like
you and I are in great moods.
We're ready to go.
We come
here
in
we
on
go.
a Friday.
Let's do this.
The mood is high.
There's horses to talk about
We
today.
got horses.
Basketball playoffs.
We're talking about wallabies.
There's all kinds of things taking place. Chunkers is out there.
We're talking
in the Bay.
about Jokic is getting out. Jokic is gone. We got all this good stuff to talk about.
We got to check the vibes.
And then we turn on we flip on our headphones today. We're talking to our fine, great, awesome, stupendous. I'm trying to think of other words to describe our illustrious,
handsome,
stupendous looking, great looking, striking,
yes,
producers down the line,
Raj
and Laura down the line, and talk about some Debbie Downers.
I mean, we say good morning, Raj. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
My team lost last night. I'm down.
Hey Laura, how's it going?
Hi. Wait,
Hi.
What's wrong with you guys today?
Sunny California.
Raj,
Hi.
Laura, what's with the vibes today? Let's go.
Come on.
Hi guys.
See?
This is what we're talking about.
It's a feel-good Friday. What are we doing?
Come on.
Laura, what's going on, Laura?
Laura.
What? It's not sunny today.
This is what we're saying.
fault.
All right. Well, we just need to get the temperature on the show to get things started.
We got through April. It's May.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
It's summer, basically.
Here we go.
There, you want vibes, there's a vibe. The children
No, that was sarcastic.
No.
Those school children were not cheering for Friday and the vibes on this show.
I need some, it's going to be May. I need some Timberlake in my life.
I mean, it's all right. So fine. We'll just have to carry the vibes on our own.
That's fine.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I mean, we will address why Raj is down today.
Yeah,
I mean,
Raj is. Yeah.
The Nuggets got it handed to him last night.
Through it.
I mean, it's never good when the team that beats you not only calls their shot, says you're soft, says you can't play D, and then they go out and they just body you in game 6, down players
without like 3 of their best
right.
players.
I understand why Raj and those in Colorado probably are not so happy that the Nuggets lost last night. I do want to start with this though, Abdalla. The 76ers. What's going on here in this series against the Celtics? Last night they win 106-93. Game 7 tomorrow in the Boston Garden.
Mm-hmm.
This is something because I don't think anyone expected this series to go 7 games. And as the series has developed, the fact that Joel Embiid returned and is playing healthy basketball has completely changed the dynamic of not only of this series, but also the forecast for the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, Joel Embiid last night, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. And you're right. I think it's not even the conversation. I think, yes, highlight what the 76ers are doing. Paul George, 23 points. Tyrese Maxey, 30 points. Like, they had a great game. But I think what's surprising is the way the Celtics haven't been able to flip that switch. Like, we've always seen the Celtics, they have a great game to start the series, and then they have that one down game where it's like, okay, gentleman's sweep here. It's going to be 3-1, and then they turn it on. And then they end up finishing out the rest of the series and win those final 3 games of the series and finish the series and winning the series 4-1, right? That hasn't happened. And for some reason, hearing the reports that Jason Tatum is feeling some stiffness in his leg and some soreness in his leg. And by the reports, Shams Charania is saying today he's going to be good to go for Game 7. Everything he's telling his teammates is that he's going to be good to go for Game 7. So not expected to miss any time or anything like that. But I think you're right. Nobody expected this to go 7 games.
No.
Nobody expected the 76ers to put up this kind of a fight. I don't think anybody expected it to get to a point where Embiid would be able to come back and get to as many games into the series where Embiid would be able to come back from the appendectomy and be like, okay, well, now he's back and he's playing well. And so now the Celtics, being a very large favorite at home, mind you, they were a big favorite last night.
Yeah, they were.
Are still in trouble.
Didn't we say it wasn't like a 6.5
point favorite?
Yeah.
But still, regardless of that, the odds don't matter because Joel Embiid is playing so good and such good basketball when he's fully healthy that he is a great equalizer for the 76ers, and the Celtics just have no answer whatsoever.
Well, it was also the defensive effort from Paul George and Kelly Oubre Jr. I mean, Kelly Oubre, there was that one play towards the end where Oubre and Embiid were there to block the shot, which then went to the other end. Paul George had the behind-the-back pass to Edgecombe for the dunk, and like everything was rocking and rolling for Philly last night. And it started with the defensive side, and it has to do with the fact that when Embiid's healthy, even if he's not the player that like Rudy Gobert is defensively, and he's not necessarily Victor Wembanyama defensively, he is the type of player that affects the way you play offense. So every dribble penetration into the paint, every pass around the basket, everything close to the basket, he's there. He also can step out and be a force defensively near the three-point line on the perimeter. So the fact that you have Embiid now playing healthy basketball, mixed in with the fact that it feels like everyone forgot that Paul George is still a good guy, good player, right? like for whatever happened in Los Angeles with the Clippers and how they failed in the past, Paul George is a good player. And to get 23 points out of Paul George last night and to get 40 minutes, great defense, and Kelly Oubre playing great defense, and you can just tell between the two of them, they have taken it upon themselves to challenge themselves against the two stars from the Boston Celtics. And whether or not Jason Tatum is dealing with the soreness and the injury and coming back from the Achilles, obviously you're not going to be 100%. And I think a lot of people would probably look at this situation and suggest that Tatum probably pushed it, right, to get back as soon as he did, which commend the player for working to get back. But, like, he's not going to be what he was this season. Yeah. Usually it takes, like, a full additional year on top of that to get to the point where he's playing to that same level where we've had the conversation. Jason Tatum, top 10 player. That's been the case. He's not quite that at this moment. So to see Oubre and to see Paul George take it upon themselves as a challenge to defend Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I think is what has changed this series. It's obviously the fact that Embiid has come back healthy, but also those two wing players saying, man up, we're going to play defense and make life difficult for Brown and Tatum has clearly affected the Celtics. And the Celtics don't have any answers for the 76ers at this moment. And that's without us, spending 5 to 10 minutes already talking about the Sixers and not mentioning Maxey, who's a great scoring player who I don't think the Celtics can stop either. So, if you're a Boston Celtics fan today, like, you can't feel good going into Game 7 tomorrow. I know you have home court, but all of the momentum in this series is on Philly's side now.
Well, and it's not even, look, it was a close game. Celtics are going home. Look, if a few buckets fall this way, that way, whatever, home cooking, we'll be back. It'll be fine. This wasn't a game. Like, this was a blowout.
Yeah.
The score is closer than it actually was. The score, when they outscored in the second quarter and the third quarter, the second quarter 38-26, the third quarter 24-14. They outscored the 76ers outscored the Celtics 24-14 in the, and I know that's 14 points in the third quarter for the Celtics. That's crazy. Like, they've locked them down defensively, and this turned into a blowout. Like, this was a game that the 76ers had in hand by the time the fourth quarter started, and you were just looking to say, okay, pack it in. Let's get back to Boston for Game 7 and see what you can do at home. And I don't think anybody thought that, okay, maybe the 76ers could win this game and in a close game, but I don't think anybody predicted that this would end up being a blowout in the 76ers' favorite. And I think you're right. Everything is hitting for the 76ers. This isn't just, okay, Embiid's having a down game, so Paul George has to step up, or Paul George is having a down game, so Embiid is stepping up, or Tyrese Maxey's scoring a bunch and everyone else is having a down night. Everything was hitting last night for the 76ers in the right time, and that's what it looks like. And when that happens, the Celtics, even going back home to Boston, have to worry that if that happens again, this is over.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, if you had to pick who's the best player in the series, Joel Embiid's only played 3 games. Mm-hmm. It's hard to argue that he's not the best player in the series.
Yeah.
You know, in the 3 games that he played in, game 4, he had 26 points. Boston won that game. Game 5, he had 33. Sixers win it. And then last night, he had 19. He also had 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Mm-hmm. Joel Embiid has completely changed this series. And that's why I said earlier this week that when you look at the great what-ifs in NBA history, we don't know how Joel Embiid's career is going to finish. But to this point, the fact that he's 32 and he's never won anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he won an MVP. But he's never won anything, though. And it's striking to me that the injuries have been the story with his career and never actually the actual talent. And so, like, that is where, sure, anything can happen here going forward. Chances are he's so injury prone, it'll happen again. But he is one of the best players in the world. And when he's right, he can do things that there's very few that can do. And I always like talking about Joel Embiid because of this. Like, think about Embiid if Embiid was in a different era. If Joel Embiid played in the 90s with all of those great centers, Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, right? Like, he would spend more time on the block.
Well,
but he's more athletic than almost all of them, except for Hakeem Olajuwon. Like, everyone else, he like, think about it. Embiid and Ewing. Embiid would waste Ewing. It's like, look at the talent.
Well,
he's such a talented player.
The first thing I thought of is if he played in that era, he would spend way more time on the injured list because he would never survive the physicality of that era.
And that's a fair assessment. If that's what you want to go down and talk about, that's fine. Because, like, Shaquille O'Neal would body him, and then it'd just be over.
The dude would get shoved, and that would be it.
But, like, we look at how those players played on the block, and Embiid's out there at the 3-point line, handling the ball, and shooting threes.
Yeah.
And if he played in a different era, he would be down on the block against those other players, and he is just as gifted as that group of players that played in the 90s. It's just a different game. It's a different style now, and he's always hurt. But if he was healthy, he would be in the conversation every year of the best player in the league.
Well, and that's what I like about what the 76ers have tried to do. They're the original trust the process team and trying to build around Embiid and bringing in different guys and trying to build around him and bringing in Paul George and trying to do this and constantly trying to build something and hoping that Embiid would stay healthy and hoping that this would finally be, every year would finally be the year that Embiid would stay healthy and getting him and dragging him through the regular season, that in the postseason, this would be the year that he finally, and like, look, an appendectomy is something that you can't plan for. Yeah. Like, that's not a wear and tear type of injury. No. That is a freak type of injury that, like, you can't plan for. So the fact that he is out there with somewhat healthy knees and ankles and all that kind of stuff, like, that is going to be game changing. And if they can advance and beat the Celtics and move on in this series and he's healthy, the 76ers are going to be dangerous because the Knicks have moved on. the Knicks absolutely decimated the Hawks. And the 76ers against the Knicks is going, if they move on, if they beat the Celtics, is going to be a great series because the 76ers can play defense. We know that the Knicks can, like they did last night. That was I don't know if it was the Hawks not being able to hit anything or if the Knicks actually decided, let's play defense for one night.
The Knicks were awesome last night.
The Knicks were that was something you bottle and try to recreate every single night, and I don't know if they'll ever be able to do that again. That was a 61-point game at one point, which was just a laugher. But I think that the 76ers can absolutely beat the Knicks and move on. If Embiid, again, the caveat if Embiid can stay healthy and everything can move on, but he's been great in the few games that he's played so far since coming back from the appendectomy. So if they can move on from this series and win Game 7, which should be great in Boston on Saturday night, either way, whether it's the Celtics or the 76ers, both teams should be able to give the Knicks a series. But right now, the 76ers are playing way better basketball than the Celtics.
Yeah, they are. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. If you want to join us today on a Feel Good Friday, you can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. A texter out of California, let's see. The text from the 949 says, Celtics stands will riot if they choke away Game 7 at home. I agree. I mean, it's not going to be great. For a team, like, heading into the playoffs, I said on this show, there are two teams in the Western Conference that can win the championship. Mm-hmm. It's Oklahoma City and it's San Antonio.
Yeah.
And I thought there was only one team in the East that could challenge one of those two teams.
Yeah.
And it was Boston.
Yeah.
And sure, like, what I've seen in the last 3 games from Philly, I could be swayed. I think if you have Philly in New York in the next round, that could be interesting. I'm not sold on Cleveland. I think Orlando is still going to win this first round series against the Pistons. Oof. So in the Eastern Conference, your chances of winning a championship may come down to tomorrow, Game 7. And that might be the team that can get out of the conference, Philly or Boston.
I think the 76ers have a great chance, regardless of what Vegas thinks, regardless of the spread, because that's what they thought last night. And Joel Embiid is the wild card in this game. Tyrese Maxey can put up a bunch of points. Oubre can play great defense. But Embiid playing his best basketball when he's healthy is absolutely the determining factor in this series so far.
The NFL draft was last weekend. We know that the odds are going to say that Fernando Mendoza is the favorite to be the Rookie of the Year offensively in the NFL. Is there another name? Someone else that was drafted in the first round offensively who could win the Rookie of the Year? A surprising name? We'll tell you about that coming up next.
Aaron Rodgers still hasn't decided if he's returning.
I thought at this point we would have known by now that he was going to play.
If the future Hall of Famer walks away, the Steelers will turn to a quarterback competition featuring Drew Aller, Will Howard, and Mason Rudolph. Not the plan, but is it their future? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
So last week, the NFL draft, Fernando Mendoza was selected first overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. He'll be the favorite. He'll be the betting favorite to be the offensive rookie of the year. And I would guess as the season goes, he's going to be the starter for the Raiders. The majority of the starts will go to Mendoza. Even though they're telling us right now that Kirk Cousins will be the starter. I don't believe it. I don't think it's good for the team. I don't think it helps you develop a quarterback by not playing said quarterback. So I think at some point, Mendoza will certainly be the starter for the Raiders. And then he will be the favorite to be the rookie of the year for the Raiders offensively this upcoming season.
Why don't I just tell you who the favorite for the rookie of the year is?
Okay.
On DraftKings right now, Fernando Mendoza is plus 350
Yeah,
to be
that's my
Rookie of
point.
the Year.
Of
That
course.
is not the favorite.
Oh, he's not?
He's not.
Wow. And so wait, hold on. Address my thought there.
Address it.
Do you think that he's going to start?
He might. He might not.
See, that's stupid. He's going to start.
I can't. It's may the best man win. It should not be that way.
Get out of here.
Listen, I agree with you. You should just throw him out there. It should not be the best man win. I think any first team rep that Fernando Mendoza does not take in OTAs, in minicamp, in training camp is a detriment to his development. Any time that you split, any preseason, any camp rep, anything that you do, anything that if you want him out there in preseason games, fine. Let him go out there in preseason games. That too, I think he should play in preseason games. Whatever it is, any rep that he doesn't get is a detriment to his development. It doesn't mean that they're going to do it that way.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to split the time and they're going to do may the best man win. And it might end up being Kirk Cousins for however, we don't have their schedule yet, but I would imagine that when the schedule comes out in a couple of weeks, whenever they release it, and there's a bye week mixed in, and let's say he's not named the starter, and they've got like a week 6 or 7 bye week. I'm going to guess if we get a, Bleck and Abdalla one-on-one, or Raj gives us a fill in the blank, or whatever it is, Fernando Mendoza will be named the starter in blank week or week blank. I'm going to say whatever that bye week is, that's when I'm going to say he's going to get named the starter, because that's a natural time to name him the starter if he's not already named the starter because he didn't win the job over Kirk Cousins.
If you're new to this show and you're not aware that Raj gives us a segment each day, one is called One-on-One, the other is called Fill in the Blank. Today, on a Friday, we will play Fill in the Blank. If you were unaware that were two things that take place, that was a very interesting way to say that sentence.
Yeah, it was.
That Raj is going to give us an old one-on-one and a fill in the blank.
He's going to give us the old one-on-one. Raj is going to give us the old one-on-one.
And people don't know that that's
Abdalla.
If they don't know that that's a segment that we have here on the show,
So-
they think Raj is about to do something really strange.
Play where I come up with questions for the guys.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. If you had to guess, since Fernando Mendoza is not the Rookie of the Year favorite on DraftKings,
All right.
who would you guess is the favorite to win Rookie of the Year?
Jeremiah Love.
It is Jeremiah Love because he's guaranteed to start. He's guaranteed to start, and by all accounts, he is going to be their offense.
Yeah.
He's going to be all of their offense because their quarterback situation sucks. Like, their quarterback situation for the Cardinals is awful. So you're going to hand off to Jeremiah Love. You're going to throw him screens. He's going to be everything. Now, it's not a huge discrepancy. He's plus 250. Fernando Mendoza is plus 350. So it's not that big of a difference. And I would imagine if Fernando Mendoza does get named the starter, more money will start to come in on Fernando Mendoza, and those odds could change and they could flip. But right now, as we sit here on May 1st, Jeremiah Love is your favorite.
So you're saying it's a value pick?
I wouldn't go that far. I would say that
he's going to start.
I would, if I had to give you, I would give you a different value pick.
You think Kirk Cousins is going to start the entire season for the Raiders?
I wouldn't give you my value pick.
Honestly, what good is that for the Raiders?
There is no good. There's no good.
It's a waste of time doing that.
There's no good in that whatsoever.
Okay, give me your value pick.
My value pick.
Value pick with Abdalla.
That's not how we do it.
Yeah, you've got a little. It's a segment.
Okay.
Value bet.
My pick is going to be he's third, so he's not behind, far behind everybody.
Got it.
But at plus 500 at 5-1 odds, it is Carnell Tate.
Okay, all right. Tate's there. I could see that.
He was drafted by the Titans at 5-1. I think that he's the best. He was one of the best wide receivers selected. I think he's got one of the best offensive coordinators in Brian Dable with Cam Ward there at quarterback. I think that he's got the best odds as far as value goes. Like at plus 250 for a long-term play like that throughout the entire season, I'm going to go with Carnell Tate to put up better numbers because like I'm banking on Fernando Mendoza to play all the games and actually be good at that position the entire season. Carnell Tate could have some really decent numbers for the Titans.
All right, so Benjamin Solak on ESPN.com, he lists off his rookie offensive of the year candidates and his rankings. He has Mendoza 1, he has Jeremiah Love 2, he has Carnell Tate 3, and he has Jadarian Prince as 4. Mm-hmm. That, to me, what are the odds for Prince?
So Jadarian Price is at plus 750
Prince
right now.
Price, yes.
He's at plus 750.
750 for the Seahawks, drafted at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
With an offensive line that already works.
Yeah.
Like, I could see that being a value play to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I like it. It's not bad. Plus 750 is not a bad pick. And then you're looking at Mekhi Lemon is plus 950. And then Carson Beck is 15-1. Ugh.
Well, Carson Beck could be interesting only due to the idea that what if he wins the starting job in Arizona?
He ain't win. He could win the job. He's not winning Rookie of the Year. That would have to mean that the Cardinals would have to win.
Well, I'm guessing
8 or 9 games.
I'm guessing back to your thought. If that offense is good and he's starting, the credit will probably go to Jeremiah Love.
Yes.
Although, if you got a rookie quarterback that, I don't even know why we're contemplating that hypothetical because they're not going to be good.
No.
So even if he starts, they're going to lose a bunch of games.
Exactly.
Same with Mendoza, though. If he starts, I don't see the Raiders winning a bunch of games with Mendoza starting, even though he should start over Kirk Cousins.
That's why I like Carnell Tate at 5-1, or even Jordan Tyson at 6-1. Jordan Tyson at 6-1 for the Saints isn't bad at 6-1. You know, Tyler Shuck played really well towards the end of the season. They won a few games towards the end of the season. Everybody in that division was 8-9 last year, so they already won 8 games. He was a big part of that towards the end. You get a solid wide receiver. A lot of people thought that Jordan Tyson was the best wide receiver in this draft class. There were like 20-some-odd scouts at his pro day towards when we got really close to the draft. So Jordan Tyson at 6-1, not bad, a bad selection either for him.
Did you see also on ESPN.com, they have mocks out for 2027?
Yes, I saw
Washington, D.C. is where the draft will be. Mocks are out.
Yes.
Arch Manning would go 1 to the Cardinals, which would then play into the conversation that they're not going to be good this year. Jeremiah Smith, number 2 to the Dolphins. Dante Moore, number 3 to the Jets. So the Jets would finally get a quarterback. Quarterback from Notre Dame. Chris Carr goes 4th to the Browns, which the Browns then draft a quarterback every year now. That would be the theme there for the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
And Cam Coleman from Texas would go number 5 to the Raiders.
Okay. So, just a question here.
Yeah.
The Dolphins.
Dolphins, yep. Dolphins at 2.
Why aren't you drafting? What are you doing?
Well, they Malik Willis.
What are you doing?
He led them to the second pick in the draft.
And you're not drafting?
They're going to keep him. That's what this is suggesting.
I love Jordan Reed.
Yeah, he's really good.
Jordan Reed's a great draft analyst. And he says it right here. Quarterback would be a consideration if the Dolphins pick this high, but getting a truly elite wide receiver would be hard to pass up. So would Dante Moore. Like, you can't not draft a quarterback. This is supposed to be the most elite draft in a decade. You can't not draft a quarterback at 2 overall if you're the Dolphins. You can't do it. Like, you can't pass up a quarterback. What are you doing? You have to draft a quarterback. And I know that we are a year away from this. And a lot of things could happen. Malik Willis could be the next Sam Darnold. He could come out and light the world on fire and be great, and they could get a huge value pick, and it could be awesome.
What'd you say, Raj?
But I do think that after all this, if they end up picking second, they're going to want to take a quarterback.
I thought Raj had thoughts on the Dolphins there.
No, he gave us a whoopsie.
Yeah, all good. Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One
It'd be weird
Sports
to trade Jalen Waddle and then draft a receiver. That seems a little counterintuitive.
productive.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. It does. But at the same time, if you're drafting second overall, it means you had like 4 or 5 wins. And so you're drafting a quarterback. I don't care how much you paid Malik Willis or plan on paying him, in his second year of his contract.
Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app, hanging out with you on Westwood One Sports. If you want to join the conversation, you can call us at 310-840-4910. You can also text the same number from the 504 around New Orleans. Here's the text, Abdalla. Cardinals' only weapon. I think you said, did you say that in regards to Jeremiah Love?
Yeah.
The texter says, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, did they die?
Yeah, because who's throwing to them? Yeah, they're dead because who's throwing to them?
They're alive.
Yeah, but who's throwing to them?
And they're on the Cardinals.
Yeah, who's throwing to them?
They're weapons.
Who's throwing to them?
Give a little credit to the Cardinals.
That in order to catch the football, someone
has to throw.
Throw them the football. You realize that, right?
No, I do, but they do have some skilled offensive players.
I understand that.
So give a little credit.
But when you've got Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew and Carson Beck, who Carson Beck likes to throw the football to the other team more than he likes to throw it to his own team.
Tell him to work on that.
You don't have anyone to throw them the football. So yes, he will be their only offense.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. The Knicks destroyed the Hawks last night. We react to New York. Moving on to the second round, coming up next.
The draft dust has settled, and the winners are the Jets and the Browns. No, that's not a typo. Both teams stayed disciplined and attacked premium positions. So how can they still screw it up? We'll all stand by. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Man, the Knicks were awesome last night. The game was over in the first quarter. They were up by 25 points in the first quarter. Thanks for participating, Atlanta. I thought that this could be a 7-game series. And, you know, when you get to game 6, you hope that the team that's hosting the game shows a little life. But they were ready for vacation. New York then advances to the second round. They will await the winner of the Game 7 tomorrow between Boston and Philadelphia. So the Knicks, they figured it out here throughout the series. Brunson and Cat, they were fantastic. And really, Atlanta at the end of the day didn't have enough firepower, even though early in the series, C.J. McCollum, it did seem like he figured out how to attack the Knicks defense, and the Knicks defense showed up last night. Anunoby had a great game. Bridges had a great game. So when you get the entire starting five playing well for the New York Knicks, they're a very tough team to beat.
36 points in the first half. I mean, I did the Grandpa Simpson. I turned it on a little bit late, and I did the, nope, okay, all right, see you guys later. Don't need to watch this tonight because this is bad basketball.
This thing's done.
This is over.
That's it.
Because I will go to the hockey because this is bad. It was an absolute, because there was a little bit of a question as to whether the Hawks would respond, and it seems like they just haven't had an answer the last few games for the Knicks. The Knicks have absolutely had their number offensively. They've turned it on defensively as well, and I think that they have responded. They'll get a couple days rest here and figure out the winner between the Celtics and the 76ers to see who moves on in that series, and they will face the winner. They'll face the winner of that series, and I think the Knicks have a legit chance because the Celtics have seemed just a little off, and the Knicks, this version of the Knicks, obviously they're not going to put up and have a 60-point deficit in a game, and be up 60 points on the 76ers or the Celtics. But it just looks like the Hawks quit at a certain point. Like they just knew it was over. They just quit.
Yeah, and so New York advances. They win last night 140-89. They win the series 4-2, and they'll await the winner tomorrow, Game 7, Celtics and the 76ers. Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I want to do this with the utmost respect, Abdalla. That's I want to have this conversation. I don't want to.
Mean.
I don't want to offend.
Don't be mean.
But you and I are not horse people. But I do understand that the Kentucky Derby is tomorrow.
Oh.
And the Derby is tomorrow.
Do you have a hat?
I don't have a hat.
You have a julep?
Not one of those fancy hats. Like I have hats, just not like a fancy hat.
You got a julep ready? Mint julep?
Yeah, no mint julep. No, I don't. I mean, although I would try one.
They're not good.
No, they're not?
I don't like them.
Oh, okay.
I've had one.
If you can make me one, I would try it.
I've been to the Derby.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun.
Okay, cool.
I had a lot of. It was wet.
Are you easy? Are you
It
going?
rained the whole time.
Are you going to watch tomorrow?
If I bet on it, I will watch the fastest 2 minutes in sports.
Well, are you going to bet on it?
I think I found a horse that I like.
Oh, okay, all right. I mean, we understand. If you're listening to Bleck and Abdalla, you probably enjoy sports.
Yes.
You probably enjoy talk sports, like people talking about sports.
Yeah.
Sports talk radio, right?
But we know our role.
Yeah, and you're gonna see a lot of it today.
We know our
A lot
lane.
of experts throwing picks, a lot of this, a lot of that. I'm not a horseman.
Here's who you're gonna see. You're gonna see Randy Moss, and you're gonna be like, not that Randy Moss.
The other Randy Moss.
The other Randy Moss.
The bald guy.
Yeah, the horse Randy Moss.
Yes, the horseman. Yes. There's a lot of great horsemen in this country.
There are.
Not us.
Nope.
Not us at all.
Shout out to Eddie Olczyk.
That's our guy.
A great horseman.
No one's been a bigger supporter of the Bleck and Abdalla show than Eddie Olczyk.
Shout out.
And that's real. We used to work with him back in Chicago.
Shout out.
We know Eddie well. He's a horseman.
Yeah.
We are not horsemen.
We're not horsemen.
Not horsemen at all. So tomorrow, the Derby, how about this?
Yeah.
The post time for the Derby, 6:57 Eastern.
Oh, man.
Late.
They couldn't just round up.
Late.
They couldn't just say 7?
Well, they know that it's only going to take 2 minutes, and then boom, the networks can carry on with their own
We got a
stuff.
7 o'clock curfew?
Yeah, boom.
Okay.
Peace.
Those horses got to get to bed.
Prime time.
They sleep standing up, right?
Do they?
I think so.
Don't they kind of kneel in the hay?
I don't think they do. I think they sleep standing up.
They can do both, right?
I think you can. I think a horse
They can
lay.
choose to kneel down, right?
I think they can lay down.
I've seen, haven't I? I feel like, now, not on their back. That's not going to work for a horse.
Easy. I hope we don't see any horses laying down tomorrow, because then
no,
if we do,
that's not good.
click, click, boom.
That's not all right. That's not okay.
Don't
I
want
mean,
to see
it's
that
real.
tomorrow.
It's a real problem in horse racing.
It is. It's something that plagues the sport. Too many.
So you have a pick on the Derby, huh?
I do have a pick on the Derby.
What do you have on the Derby?
So there's
Let's
a
see.
lot of horses.
Yes, I see 20 post.
Okay. But there's a lot of them.
Which one do you like?
I just go by name usually.
What do you like?
I like. It's right now. I believe he's 9-1. I don't know if it's a he or a she, to be honest. I don't want to misgender the horse.
Aren't they usually?
She's?
No, aren't they
No,
usually?
he's? I would imagine this one's a he because
Aren't they usually male horses because they're bigger?
I would imagine this one's
Don't
a
they
he.
call the
based on the
female
name.
races something different?
Mares?
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
they
I
have
think
like
so.
different?
I would imagine this one's a he based on the name.
Okay, what do you have?
Chief Wallaby. I'm going with Chief
Chief Wallaby.
Wallaby.
Post 12.
Yeah,
8
Chief
to 1?
Wallaby.
9
I'm
to
looking
1?
at 9-1, and I believe that Randy Moss, not the one that pretended to pull out his pants when he scored a touchdown.
Not the football player.
Not the football player. I believe this is also his pick. I heard with Chris Mack earlier on You Better Your Bet.
All right, well,
Yeah.
there you go. So
yeah.
So
and I didn't know
Dallas-
that before I picked. I didn't
Okay.
know that
You just
before I
went-
picked.
you just went on vibes
I
on
just
the
went
name.
on vibes on the name. I like Chief Wallaby. Wallaby is a very fun word to say.
Yes, Chief Wallaby.
Chief Wallaby.
Yeah, and honestly, if Mr. Chief Wallaby there, if he could go on a Triple Crown run,
Yeah.
that would be fun to say Chief Wallaby
Chief Wallaby.
for the next couple of weeks.
It was.
That would be good, right?
Yeah.
What about 6-speed?
6-speed? No.
Or So Happy?
No, I feel like the vibes of the show today, we can't go with So Happy. Because
Well, we definitely can't go with who's at post 5, the Right to Party.
no, it's scratched.
Oh, right, the party out?
Scratched. I'm looking at Scratched.
Goodbye.
Scratched.
It's okay, though,
Scratched.
right?
Also, so happy the lowest odds. I don't like going with the favorite. What about number 9, the Puma? Or do you say Puma? Is it Puma or Puma?
Puma.
Puma? Puma? Do you like any of the names? Dan and Bourbon?
You know, 6-speed I kind of enjoy.
40 to 1 odds? 40 to 1? Okay.
Yeah.
Trifecta?
I'm not going to gamble on it.
Quadfecta?
Not a horseman. I'm not going to watch.
The Daily Double?
Are you going to watch? I'm not going to watch.
If I remember.
Yeah, like it's not something I'm going to like call to tomorrow.
To the call to post?
But again,
will you call to post?
I want to. I just want to make sure people understand. Listening, we're trying to be respectful. I am not going to watch, but if you do, enjoy it. Go to town.
I'll be honest. I forgot that it was this weekend until I saw.
How could you forget? All you hear today is people talking about the Kentucky Derby.
Until I saw people talking about it. Until I saw that people were getting ready for the Derby.
All right, thank you, Laura. Thank you for playing our song, "A Horse with No Name."
So
we appreciate that.
The official
you,
Bleck and Abdalla pick will be Chief Wallaby.
Yeah, let's go Chief Wallaby for that.
Chief Wallaby.
Chief Wallaby.
Because that's a fun word to say.
Again, we were just trying to be respectful to the horse people out there.
Yeah.
Who support horse racing, and God forbid one doesn't make it through. Our thoughts will be with those horses.
We want them all to live.
Yes, of course.
And
yes.
Unless they get scratched, but not for that reason.
All right. I have to bring this up because I saw this yesterday, and I think it is something that is incredible.
Okay.
We are millennials, and we are children of the 90s, okay? So I think this might apply if you are someone that grew up in the 90s. If you grew up in the 80s, the late 80s, this might be something you remember. Do you remember going to Pizza Hut and the Book It reading program in the summer?
I do.
Where you read a book in the summer, and you would get the amount of books that you read, you could get individual pan pizzas from Pizza Hut.
Yes.
Because you were a part of the Book It Club.
Yes.
Pizza Hut, they are bringing this back.
Yeah.
The Book It program is coming back.
I saw it.
How cool is that?
I love it.
Isn't that great? People are actually going to read again.
I love that people will be able to lie about reading again.
No, people read.
No, they don't.
We all got dumber the moment you stopped incentivizing pizza with reading.
I loved pretending to read. I loved being able to put down that I read X amount of books that I didn't.
Here's the story from People Magazine. Pizza Hut's Book It program has announced the return of the Summer of Stories, where kids can earn personal pan pizzas for meeting the reading goals. The program, open for kids pre-K through the 6th grade, will run from June 1st till August 31st. Parents can sign their kids up for the summer reading program through the Book It app. Boom! Book It's back.
I want kids to read because reading
I love Book It.
Is fundamental.
Yeah, you're right. I kind of like, you know what I would do? I would like half read a Goosebumps book.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Well,
and
you
then
could fly through a goosebump.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if people remember those books, but you'd get all the different Goosebumps, and they were like scary stories.
They made them in the movies with Jack Black. Of course, people know what they are.
I'm just making sure. You know, it was something from the past.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're bringing back scamming. That's something kids need to learn.
You don't think kids are actually going to read?
No, kids need to learn how to scam again.
But here's the thing. With this, you can't have AI do it for you.
No.
You have to sit down and read the book.
You got to learn how to scam by yourself.
Or you get your parents on board.
Yeah, get them to scam for you.
Because if they just sign off on it, who's going to watch The Watchmen?
They don't want to pay for pizza either.
Exactly. My kid read 300 books.
Give me free pizza now.
Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right. Welcome in. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago. We are on the air until 3 Eastern, hanging out with you. If you want to join us on a Friday, all calls welcome on a Friday with Bleck and Abdalla at 310-840-4910. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. So, Abdalla, the Cleveland Browns are in the conversation again today because Todd Monken, head coach for the Cleveland Browns, talked this week to the media about the quarterback situation. And we know that heading into this offseason, the quarterback position for the Cleveland Browns is one of those around the NFL where we don't know who the starter is. It's a competition. There's three guys who are all thrown in there. It's Deshaun Watson, it's Shedeur Sanders, it's Dillon Gabriel. I think we all have our different opinions on who should start, who could start. You know, Deshaun Watson has accomplished the most in his career, but he really hasn't been any good for about 6 years. So he's a has-been for the most part, trying to battle back to be a good starting quarterback. Shedeur Sanders got the majority of the starts last season, and he showed some promise, but then also questions about whether or not he can play at a super high level. And Dillon Gabriel started games last season, lost the job because he got hurt. He's a part of the conversation. So you add in Todd Monken, who's the new head coach for the team, who is an offensive-minded head coach, trying to figure out who the quarterback should be for the Cleveland Browns moving forward.
I think we all know who it's going to be. You know, the report came earlier this week from Mary Kay Cabot, who has covered the Browns for a very long time, and she said that Deshaun Watson has the inside track and is the favorite to start over Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, and that's not surprising. He was the starter before. He was the starter until he was injured, and he's probably going to be the starter, whether it's ability or the fact that he's making $45 million this year. And this is the last year he is on the actual books for the Browns because everything else is, you know, the contract has been moved along, but the dead cap money is this year and the final year is this year. And then the Browns can move on from Deshaun Watson. So it's not surprising that the reports are that from Mary Kay Cabot that this is going to be Deshaun Watson's job to lose at the start of the season. Now, Deshaun Watson has played horrible football when he has been the starter and given those opportunities since his very justified year-long suspension. And when he came back, he was a shell of himself because he just wasn't on the field. And then he was injured, and then he came back again and was bad, and then was injured again and came back and was bad again. So now, if he comes back this time and is bad again, I would imagine that the shelf life is not going to be very long for a new head coach if Shedeur Sanders is equal to or maybe just a little bit better or a little bit worse than Deshaun Watson, because you want to see what you have in a young quarterback in Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel in live games. Practice is great. Training camp is great. Preseason games aren't even real competition. You're not playing against starters. You're playing against second stringers, third stringers, all that kind of stuff. You want to see what you have against real competition, because the Browns might be in a place to draft a quarterback in this great draft class that we're going to hear all year about next season. And you want to know if Deshaun Watson, or Shedeur Sanders is your future, or if Dillon Gabriel is your future, or if you just have to blow this thing up and start from scratch next season.
Yeah, I think, you know, something that I remind myself about, because I forget these things, is that time moves very quickly. And so in my head, I still think that Watson can still kind of play, even though you look at the stats. The last time he had a good season as a quarterback was 2020. Right? I mean, he was with the Texans. He completed 70% of his balls. He threw for 4,800 yards. He had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. In 21, he didn't play. Mm-hmm. In 22, he was awful. He only played in 6 games, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a completion percentage of 58. Mm-hmm. 23, completion percentage of 61, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And then in 24, completion percentage of 63, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He is nowhere near the player he was in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, when you look at that, can a player go through essentially a 6-year window and then get back to the player that he used to be? I don't know if that's the case. But I do know it is possible that he does have the leg up in this competition because he's done this before. So, like, that to me, it is possible that Mary Kay Cabot reporting on Cleveland.com that he has the inside track. Like, I believe that. You know, he's a veteran, right? Shedeur Sanders is going into his 2nd season. So I would hope that Deshaun Watson does have the inside track. I don't know if it actually means that the Cleveland offense will be better long term if Deshaun Watson is the starter this season.
Mm-hmm. I think that for the benefit of the Browns, you need to just see if what he's got left, right? You just have to see. And if it's nothing,
right,
you just pull the plug. Because we know the defense is ready-made. The defense with Myles Garrett, everybody else on that defensive line, that defense is set.
Yeah, they're good. That's a good defense.
That defense is set. It's the offense and the quarterback play that you need to figure out. And if you're Todd Monken, you need to know this going in, because just like we said with Fernando Mendoza and the Raiders, every snap that you're splitting among Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson to try to figure this out, and timing with your wide receivers and timing within the offense and everything else, every rep that they don't get is a detriment to the offense.
Yeah, it is. Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. So Todd Monken, coach for the Browns, he was on 92.9 The Fan in Cleveland, talking about wanting to name a starting quarterback before they get to camp.
I would love to have that. I'm not there yet, so I can't say that. We've been on the field 3 practices, which was awesome. And to get out there with our players. I was talking to Carson yesterday. He said, feels so weird that we got from phase 1 to get on the field, and then now we're back off for 3 weeks. But it's always changing based on what you see. I don't have a history with any of our players. I know where this is heading. What I've seen after 3 days, okay, that gives us a little bit of a 40,000-foot view of where we're at, but that can change. Once we get back on the field for 4 weeks at the end of this spring, we'll have a better idea then. But there's only so many reps you get. You've got to start to target towards who's going to start opening day. And now that can still change, even if someone's getting 2/3 of the rep to someone getting 1/3 of the reps, because you're still going to play preseason games. You're still going to want to see those guys at quarterback and see how they play.
So that was Todd Monken on 92.9 The Fan in Cleveland. Yeah, makes sense. I think what we all think who didn't play, that is true. Like, I'm not saying that Monken is not being honest with us. Mm-hmm. But I think we take that at face value and say, yeah, you're right. Things can change. Mm-hmm. The reps can split up differently. They can do a different way to kind of go through camp or practice or any of that. The team kind of needs to know, though. As they move forward, they kind of need to know. And that's why, listen to what Jeff Schwartz told us on Wednesday. Jeff Schwartz filled in for you, Abdalla, and he played in the NFL. He's got great thoughts on the NFL, and also he's well-sourced on it. And he brought up this. We were talking about this very topic. Who's going to be the starter in Cleveland? Is it a quarterback battle? This is what Jeff Schwartz told us on Wednesday.
You got to have reps. You got to be developed. So all the reps right now for the ones are going to Deshaun Watson. So Sanders doesn't even have the opportunity to beat out Deshaun Watson because someone's in front of him who's getting all the reps. You know what I mean? So this is why I think the competition is mostly a myth. Like they choose the starting quarterback, and it's by just, I tell you right now, go look at like I've not looked what the Vikings are doing right now, but if Kyler Murray's getting the first team reps now, he's getting him in the regular season. You know what I mean? Like,
he'll be
it's sort of simple to find out. They're telling you Watson's going to be the starter right now. There's nothing Shedeur can do about it. Gabriel can do about it. He will be their starting quarterback.
So that was Jeff Schwartz here on Bleck and Abdalla on Wednesday, filling in for Abdalla. His point, the large point, was that when they say there's a competition or there's a positional battle, it's a myth. That was what Jeff Schwartz was telling us. It's a myth when they tell you it's a battle. It's a positional battle because in reality, they don't have time to sit around and split up reps like this. If you're with the first team, you're with the first team.
Well, the problem is when you do that.
And his point is they base a lot of that off of how much you make.
Well,
and
look,
it's by design.
Yeah, and look, we know when Shedeur was drafted, and it was well documented that he was sitting around and waiting for teams to call, and he kept falling and falling and falling. They drafted Dylan Gabriel before they drafted Shedeur, and we know that Deshaun Watson's making a lot more money, and we know that in the case of the Raiders, Kirk Cousins is making $20 million, and Fernando Mendoza was the number 1 overall pick. Now, here's what could happen, and I know what Jeff Schwartz says, but this is what could also happen. Day 1 of training camp, Deshaun Watson gets the first team reps. Day 2, Shedeur Sanders gets the first team reps. Day 3, Deshaun Watson gets the first team reps. Day 4, Shedeur Sanders gets the first team.
Yeah,
and go back.
That doesn't help them get better.
It's the Browns, man. Like, what has ever helped them get better? Same with the Raiders. Like, this is going to be if they want to have this as a, quote, true competition, that's what they're going to do. That's why I feel like when you go in, and he mentioned the Vikings, you walk into the Minnesota Vikings and training camp day 1 or OTA day 1, and you're going to know Kyler Murray's getting the first team reps, and guess what, JJ? You're with the second team. Sorry. That's just how it goes because that's what we're doing. Yeah. Because Kevin O'Connell's not messing around because he knows they have a chance to win a division or compete for a wild card. The Raiders might not be. They might think they can, but I think they're going to do this as like a true competition to see who can help them win. But I also think that they're like, well, we did this thing where it might, because you heard from their coach. Their coach is telling you it's nice to have a veteran guy so you can bring along the younger quarterback, and it's a process. And then you've got Monk in here being all wishy-washy about it with the Browns, saying, well, it'd be nice to know, but we just don't know yet. No, be assertive. Be a coach and say, this guy's our starter. This guy's going to, if he wins the job, cool. If not, if Deshaun Watson's not cutting it during the regular season, we'll make a change.
Yeah, I mean that's what works in the NFL, right? Like if you're not getting the job done, you lose your spot.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But it's not a surprise to me that the inside track is to Deshaun Watson. And it's also not a surprise to me that the head coach wants to figure this out before they get there, but he can't necessarily name a starter right now because they've had 3 practices.
But he can. He can. I think that Todd Monken knows what he walked into. And social media clips and having Shedeur Sanders be there day 1 and shaking his hand and all that kind of stuff is cool. And that's all great for social media. Deshaun Watson is your starter until he's not. He's your starter until he gets hurt or until he turns the ball over too much or until he costs you a couple games. Deshaun Watson is your starter. Just name him your starter and go into training camp with him as your starter. Simple as that. He just is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree with you that that's what's going to happen. I agree. I totally agree that Deshaun Watson's going to be the starter for the Browns.
And look, I'm not rooting against Shedeur Sanders. If Deshaun Watson is bad, pull him and put in Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel and give him a shot. And if Dylan Gabriel is bad, pull him and put Shedeur Sanders in. Because this is a year where Todd Monken is coming in and you have to figure out what you have. You got to figure out what you have at the quarterback position because you need to know what you're drafting next year. Are you drafting a quarterback or are you coming in and what other position are you drafting and where are you going to fit into the draft? Because you've got your defense covered. You need to be drafting for whatever position you are on offense. Is it a wide receiver? Is it whatever it is?
Yep.
This is a year of figuring out what you have because we all assume Deshaun Watson's not going to be on the team next year. So figure out what you have And if it's not any of these guys, cut bait with Watson. These two guys are your backup in Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, and you're drafting the future, whether it's Manning, wherever you end up, Dante Moore, whoever it is, that's where you're going to end up being.
It's Bleck Abdalla on a Friday. All calls welcome on a Friday with Bleck Abdalla at 310-840-4910. You can also text the show at the same number. We go to Ray in Chicago. You're on with Bleck Abdalla. What's up, Ray?
Hey, happy Friday, fellas. How you guys doing?
Happy Friday. What's going on, man?
Man, it's a crazy week. You guys have been crushing it this week. So really quick about the reading, two things. We're about the same age. I might be a little bit older. Do you guys remember Sweet Pickles? The learning
Sweet
book?
Pickles.
Yeah, nah, you got to Google it. Yeah, so that's going to be a no. So I might be a couple years older than you guys. What about book fairs at school?
Yes, I remember the bookmobile.
Fair, yeah.
Remember the bookmobile?
The bookmobile.
We didn't get the bookmobile. It was a CPS. So they just set up like the library. Remember you get the little paper pamphlet ahead of time too, that thing where they were like all the books you want to buy, and then you order them and you wait, then the delivery came, and you didn't want to be the one kid that got no book.
Sure.
So I'm going to switch this up. All calls welcome, and maybe Raj could chime in on this. Raj?
Oh, Raj, hell yeah. Let's go.
Let's
do it.
So
what we got?
I'm a huge fan of Joker. I really am. I think he's an amazing player. I do, and I think he is going to go down as one of the greats. However, him losing that series to Minnesota, especially when you have no Ant, and then they have the other injuries, you have to be fair. That has to take a hit on his career. I don't think, because of that, I don't think you can ever say, it would be questionable if he's like top 10 ever. I don't think he's ever top 10, but he takes a hit for that loss. No other great player of all time loses that series if they're healthy. And the only player that was injured on Denver really was Aaron Gordon. I mean, come on. So I want to hear all you guys' thoughts. Raj, I want to hear your thought on this. So you guys have a great weekend, and I'll listen in. Thanks.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate the phone call. Raj, what do you think?
Legacy
Yeah,
talk.
I mean, the legacy stuff is weird for me because he is in a weird, I feel like he's in that in-between of, I wouldn't have said he was top 10 or anything like that, even if they won the series. I don't know how much it would have overly affected it. I think he would have had to win multiple championships in his career to get into that discussion. And I think it's probably trending. He's going to have more of a Dirk Nowitzki, maybe better than Dirk, 'cause he had more MVPs, but a similar career like that. That'd probably be where I'd put him in the whole legacy thing.
It's a good name to point out.
Fair.
You're right.
If he winds up winning one title and spending his whole career on one team, that I can't point this out enough. A historical bottom feeder team. They just are. They're a historical bottom third team in a flyover city, and he came and he won a title here. So, nice career, 3 MVPs, historical numbers. I don't put the series loss on him. He didn't play as amazing as I've seen him play before, but, I mean, he was, far from, the problem. But
I would say this was my perception watching it, Raj, is that it's not that he played poorly. It's that Rudy Gobert outplayed him.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about stats. It's just the way Gobert's aggressiveness on him clearly affected the way Jokic played throughout the series. And it just felt like Rudy won the war there between the two of them in this series. Is that a fair way to look at it?
I would put it, I think Jokic would have had to dominate it for them to have a chance. And he didn't dominate it because everybody else was playing poorly. That'd be how I would phrase it. I think Shaq said it last night. It was fair. You probably needed to have a 50-point triple-double game last night, which he's capable of doing. And, he didn't. So, the legacy thing, interesting. I feel like I'm pretty fair on him. He's my favorite player because, my team's been terrible for the majority of my life. And he made them good. And for me, it felt more of a finality of the whole run. And, now we'll see what they surround him with.
Raj, your thoughts on the Book It program? That's how Ray started the call.
I am a fan of the Book It program. I'm a bigger fan of Pizza Hut buffets. I think we need to bring that back. That was awesome to go to Pizza Hut and do the buffet. Now, mind you guys, I am married to a kindergarten teacher, so my household looks like a kindergarten classroom. I have Dr. Seuss encouraging you to read banners and stuff around my house. So I am very much in this culture that I did not recognize because of, I'm married to a kindergarten teacher and I have an 8-year-old that reading had died so much everywhere. Like it's a priority in my household. My daughter has to read every night. It started with Dr. Seuss books. Now she's on Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I didn't know kids don't read anymore.
Apparently they don't, but pizza will incentivize those to read. Raj, I would also say, I think there's the like original Pizza Hut still exists in Illinois somewhere. Isn't that true? I think there's like an old school Pizza Hut that still exists, and people go there and they take pictures, and they have remember those red plastic cups that you used to get at all the Pizza Huts with the buffet and everything? I think there's one that still exists like that, and I think it's in like somewhere in Illinois. Either downstate Illinois or out west towards Iowa.
I tell you what, fellas, we've talked a lot about if I ever visit you guys, pizza in Illinois, that might jump to the top of the list. I'm sorry. I know the tavern crust you've talked about and everything, but man, if the OG pizza and it's a buffet and we can have the cups and go start like refilling our Mountain Dews and everything, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yorkville might have it.
No, that's too close. I think it's farther away than that.
I'm looking at the stuff online, man.
All right, we'll continue.
I found the other day while I was cleaning up stuff. Do you guys remember the Land Before Time?
Yeah.
I found one of the Pizza Hut toppers, which, like, how this is still in my house, I have no idea. That must have been from like the late 80s. The Pizza Hut Land Before Time topper.
Now, they're claiming that there's also a Pizza Hut museum in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
And I see that. I don't see if it's like the original setup to the restaurant. All right, we'll get to the bottom of this.
I like when you see the old Pizza Huts that used to have the buffets, but like they've changed to something else, and it'll be like a Chinese restaurant or something like that. But you can tell, like,
it looks like Eureka, Illinois.
Eureka, that's it. What's that one? That's it.
Eureka, Illinois. I'm looking at it. It looks like they have it looks like they have a buffet.
Right. They have the buffet. They have all the original decor.
Yeah.
Everything. So how far away from Chicago is that? It's pretty far, right?
God.
Eureka, Illinois.
Let's see. Yeah.
I think it's like. Yeah, I think it's out towards Iowa, if I had to guess. It's not near the Chicagoland area.
It is 2 hours away from it. It's by Peoria.
Oh, it's downstate.
Trip.
Okay. All right, downstate Illinois. See, I knew I saw something somewhere that there's like an original Pizza Hut in the middle of the state. Mm-hmm. All right, Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Coming up next, we will hang out with Raj. It's time to play Fill in the Blank with Raj coming up next.
Quarterback Bo Nix had a second surgery on his broken ankle and is expected to be limited during Broncos OTAs. Should Sean Payton be concerned if his franchise passer will be ready for training camp? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern right here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We broadcast each and every day live from the great city of Chicago. And now let's go on out a mile high and let's look for Raj Sharon, who joins us each and every day from parts unknown in Colorado. Raj produces the show, and now it's time for Fill in the Blank with Raj. Hello, Raj.
Hello, Bleck. Hello, Abdalla. And the first fill in the blank today, I have no idea where I came up with this one. Hey, Abdalla, Fernando Mendoza is going to be named the Raiders starter blank.
After their bye week.
Ooh, okay. All right.
After their bye week.
And when's their bye week?
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I don't know when their schedule is.
What is he doing?
I don't know when their schedule is. I don't have their schedule.
He literally
I thought you
called
had
for
inside
this
info.
question earlier. He
No,
was
no,
like,
no, no, no.
Raj, one day we'll do a fill in the blank and ask me for it. And I go right to it.
Hold on.
I love it, Raj.
Hold on. Time out. I'm not going to be one of these people that pretends to know when the schedule is going to be released.
Oh, they're hot and heavy this week.
All right.
They're hot and heavy.
The schedule comes out when it comes out. It's usually like the second or third week in May because the NFL likes to have something every month. May is usually a dead month, except for the schedule coming out. So guess what? The schedule will come out sometime in May.
Well, you don't have to say guess what. The NFL is running commercials.
Yeah. That the schedule will come out.
I saw a commercial last night. Raj, this is what's amazing about the National Football League.
Yeah.
It's a commercial teasing something that has no date attached to it. It said coming soon.
Coming soon.
It was a commercial promoting the schedule release without a date.
No date.
Just keep
We're still working on it.
Remember a few months ago we had the idea they could turn the schedule release into like an in-person event, we think. Like the draft.
Yeah, they should.
I think they could.
I think Raj, I think the three of us
are play week 4.
Yes,
I think Minnesota's bidding on it right now.
I think we're going to call our bosses and tell them that we need to be there for the schedule release.
We need to be in Cleveland for the schedule release show.
So, I mean, Abdalla's right. Abdalla did hit on something like the amount of people the weeks leading up to the schedule release who play. I think I know that this team's going to play here on this date at this time. And then the zero accountability the moment the schedules are actually out and all of those people are wrong for most of it.
Yeah.
Like I get sometimes people are right. I'll give you credit when you get it right.
Okay.
But there's a lot that it's like, it'd be a good game I think it happens in every local market, right, with your favorite team.
Yeah,
but what we hear here in Chicago constantly is, the Bears should be on prime time for the opener. The Bears should be on prime time for this game.
There's going to be a Packers game. They're probably going to end in Detroit.
A Bears-Packers game is going to be on. It's like, yes. And every Steelers-Ravens game will be on national TV.
Yeah.
And every time that you see the Seahawks and the 49ers clash helmets, that's going to be on national TV. Yes,
wasn't it,
of course.
Wasn't it that they're definitely going to have Ben Johnson against Detroit as like an opening game to start the season?
It's always the storylines. Locally, it's always the storylines.
It was like they played Tennessee. Like, who'd they start with last season? It was like a random noon game. It was like nothing, right? Let's see. Who did they start with?
It wasn't Detroit.
No, it wasn't Detroit. No, they started the season against the Vikings.
Yeah,
It was Monday. It was a Monday night game against the Vikings.
Yeah, and so sure, if you have great sources and you're a newsmaker and you want to report stuff, go for it. But this time of year, just as the NFL wants everyone to know, keep your head on a swivel. Soon we will find out the schedule.
And then when we find that out, we'll know.
Answer Roger's question. Make a prediction.
I said whatever the Raiders bye week is.
Tell us when you think that bye week will be.
Well, my sources are telling me that the Raiders will get a bye week.
You know what? I'll go conspiracy theory on you.
Sometime between week 4 and week 10.
Okay. I'll go conspiracy theory on you, Abdalla. They're going to purposefully give the Raiders an earlier bye week to try to get Mendoza on the field sooner. There you go.
That's a good theory. That's a good theory.
They'll sit there and be like, let's give it to him like week 5. They'll be like 1 and 4.
Week 5 is good. Week 5 is good.
So, Raj, that was going to be my answer. Week 5.
Okay.
You'll see Mendoza as the quarterback because that will allow the Raiders to lose 3 games in the month of September. Mm-hmm. So they will be 1-3, looking for a change. Start the kid. Boom. Week 5. Let's go.
All right, Bleck, next up, the Eastern Conference. Holy smokes, we got the Celtics on their heels going into a Game 7. The Pistons could get beat by an 8 seed, and we got the Knicks. They're still scoring on the Hawks as we speak right now. So who's the favorite now? Bleck, the favorite to come out of the East is now blank.
Ooh, this, do I want to be that guy?
Be that guy.
I think the favorite out of the East, it's Philadelphia.
Wow.
I think the 76ers, if they win tomorrow, they will be the favorites out of the East. That I'm going to put that. And I think they have a good chance of winning tomorrow. So I think Philly's going to be the favorite out of the East.
I am going to say, because I don't believe, because something always happens. Like Philly can never
That's true.
maintain.
No, you're right.
So if Philly wins, it's New York. It's New York. Because New York is through right now. If Philly wins, I think, because something will happen. Something always happens. It's like, you can't plan for injury. We got to say, well, as long as everybody stays healthy. I can plan for injury when someone always gets hurt.
When it always happens.
When it always happens. When the usual outcome is injury. So I'm going to say the favorite to come out of the East is now New York.
Okay. All right. New York and Philly.
Mm-hmm. Next up, locking hands gate. Blank be a distraction that affects the Patriots on the field, Abdalla.
First of all, change that. You PG'd up that.
I did. I PG'd it.
It's locking fingers gate.
Fingers gate. I know.
It's locking fingers gate.
I didn't want to send this off the rails, which clearly it has.
It's also finger locking gate.
Done that.
Have you listened to today's show? We spent 10 minutes talking about Book It.
It's finger locking gate. Okay, it's finger locking gate.
Whatever gate you want to call it, finger locking gate. Blank be a distraction that affects the Patriots on the football field this season, Abdalla.
It won't be. It won't be. The distraction that will affect the Patriots on the field will be the tougher schedule, and the fact that teams will be planning for them.
That's a good call.
And they have to face tougher opponents
and
harder and tougher defenses this year.
Raj, to answer your question, I think it will if he was fired. I don't think Mike Vrabel will lose his job, so I don't think this will be a distraction that affects the Patriots this season. Now, I don't know. Like, what's the latest? Is there new news? Every day, there's new news about
Did you see
this.
that she got Brian Williams?
No, what happened? What do you mean?
So there's a story now.
She was over covering the war and
there's a story about how
Desert Storm and she wasn't actually there.
She supposedly
Isn't that the Brian Williams story?
She supposedly saved.
Yeah,
Raj, help me with this. She saved someone or like
saved someone from a car crash, but now it's come out that maybe she was just there, maybe holding a dog, but she didn't jump on the Jeep like an action hero and rip them out. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
she got Brian Williams.
Well, okay. Is that the case, or did her PR team release that story intentionally to make it seem like there was a little goodwill on her side? You see what I'm saying? Like, did they release that story?
Maybe the PR team initially tried to embellish a little bit to build some goodwill. Yeah.
Isn't that what Brian Williams did?
No, he lied about participating, about covering and being on like a helicopter that crashed.
All I'm saying is that
overseas in a war.
Someone said,
isn't that what Brian Williams lied about?
A reporter said something, and now it's not true.
That was on his resume.
A reporter said something, and now it's not true, and now it's a heroic feat. And now another heroic feat is not true.
Anderson Cooper would never.
The Silver Fox would never.
He would never.
All right, hey,
Blitzer is spinning in his ice.
I think that's how he stays awake.
Yeah, his hyperbolic chamber that he goes into in between reports.
All right, Bleck. The Timberwolves blank give the Spurs a tough series.
They will. I think the Timberwolves will give the Spurs a tough series because of the difference in age of where the teams are in their development. Even if the Timberwolves don't have Anthony Edwards, they've got dudes who've been around, who've played in the playoffs for a few years, and they've got some battle scars. And this is new to the Spurs. And sometimes that catches up with you. They're very talented. I think the Spurs still win the series, but I think it will be a tougher series than just a 4-0 sweep or a gentleman's sweep of a 5-game series. So I think it will give the Spurs a tough series.
If Anthony Edwards is not playing, this will be a gentleman's sweep at best. They will give up. They will have no problem with the Timberwolves.
All right.
No problem.
All right, Abdalla. Deshaun Watson has blank chance of regaining his Houston form.
What is less? Is there less than zero? Is there a less than zero possibility?
Yeah, I guess.
Can I go less than? Is there a less than? Is there a less than zero chance? I'm gonna say 5%. I'll go 5%. I don't think there's any chance. That was 5 seasons ago. 5 seasons ago.
Okay. On the flip side,
that's an entire contract.
Didn't we, within the last 5 years, see Joe Flacco have one of his best seasons as a quarterback?
Joe Flacco has been playing the entire time. Joe Flacco's a different animal.
I know. I'm just saying, quarterbacks, the older you get, it doesn't really matter.
Joe Flacco hasn't been injured.
Raj, to answer this question, I'm going to say a 40% chance.
No.
I don't think it's likely, but I do think it's possible. So I'm going to say 40%.
All right, fellas, that does it. Fill in the blank.
Thank you, Raj. That's a good way to end the week with a fill in the blank with Raj. That was good. See, at the start of the show, we were worried. The vibes were down. The Nuggets lost last night. Raj is in parts unknown in Colorado. His team, they're out. What's going to happen? But the vibes are back up. I love it on a Friday. It's great. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. All right, so there is a bizarre twist in the locking hands gate, locking fingers gate.
No, finger lock gate.
Right? It's what happened with Rossini in the crash?
Stop trying to PG up this gate.
You guys will explain this to me coming up next.
The draft is behind us, and uncertainty is straight ahead. The 49ers face criticism. The Cardinals' direction is questioned. Are the low draft grades cause for concern? With OTAs approaching, we'll find out soon. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Check out the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, Bleck and Abdalla Show. We live stream the show each and every day, and also exclusive content you can find right there on the YouTube channel, Bleck and Abdalla Show. All right, so you and Raj are telling me about this story. Page 6, every day there's something new from Page 6 on the Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel story. Now, weeks ago, it was like right after this story broke that something was amiss. Something in Sedona was going on. There were interlocking hands on top of a roof, and there was something taking place. There was a story posted on Page 6, like days after when it was hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Not on the roof, but in the tabloids.
Okay.
That Diana Rossini saw a car accident and the car flipped onto its side, and she was there to assist and help the person out of the car. Hero.
Yeah.
Hero. It was there on the paper. Page 6.
Yeah.
Now there's witnesses saying that that's not the case.
Well, we go to Wyckoff, New Jersey.
What?
Excuse me. I think that's how you say it. Not far from Rossini's home, where she heroically, allegedly, asked a bystander to hoist her onto an overturned Jeep.
That's the noise you make when you hoist someone.
Yeah. And where she opened the door and helped the driver and his helpless dog to safety.
See, that's good. There's a dog there, too.
Of course. Now, a second tipster has now said that Rossini helped, but it was in fact the tipster's husband and not Rossini who had freed the driver and his dog, and that Rossini had merely just held the dog's leash and stood by the car and not actually helped anything, but just like held the dog by the leash and made sure like the dog didn't run away.
I can't with any of this.
In Wyckoff, New Jersey.
I can't with any of this anymore. Is this it for today, though?
Apparently, this is
any
the
only other Vrabel
in finger locking
stories. That's it. Okay.
This
tipster saying no. She was no hero.
I was the one. My husband was the one who jumped in the car.
I'm the one that helped him up
to save the man and his dog. She merely held the leash.
She was just standing
to make
there.
sure the dog didn't run away.
Don't take our credit. We want the credit.
Why come out now?
We're the heroes.
And say that Rossini didn't help anybody. Like, why now?
Maybe they just got the news that she was a hero.
Why?
Maybe it just hit their feed.
They just got through pages 1 through 5 and
weeks later
finally got to page 6.
Well, you know how sometimes Instagram, if you post a story, you see it that day. If you post something on the grid,
it takes a while.
It takes a while to come through, right? Like maybe they
yep.
didn't see this story until yesterday, and then they're like, you know what? We should probably correct page 6 because she can't be the hero. My husband's the hero because I'm the one that lifted my husband up onto the car. And then he's the one that helped out. This is the dumbest.
Aren't we all just
Hey, Raj, can you fill in the blank for me? This is the dumbest blank since
Oh, so it's you're hitting me with a double blank.
No,
All
I
right,
know. You don't have to answer the question.
No,
I
can do. I can do.
We'll let our great
Yeah.
listeners figure out what I'm leading
This
to.
is the dumbest gossip I've seen since my wife was watching Bravo last night while I was watching the Nuggets get their teeth kicked in.
All right. A little summer house. Okay. All right. That's fair. The Amanda West situation going on Summer House and Bravo. I'm aware. Yes, that's not great either.
I'm so over this story. Like, we get it. They were hooking up. They were hooking up for a long.
I thought you were going to say something else. We get it.
They were hooking up for a long time. They've been interlocking fingers for a long time.
Still weird to me.
Still weird. Yeah, that doesn't change the fact.
Still weird.
And it seems like they didn't care about it because they've been doing it openly in bars and at resorts in Sedona and out in the open.
They've been out there
and making playlists for each other for a while.
All right, so should we move on to something we do care about?
Please.
As a society?
Please.
How about the sea lion Chonkers?
Chonkers,
the sea lion in San Francisco in the Bay. He's a viral sensation. We had the news story from local San Francisco news report from yesterday. Well, everyone's jumping on board with the Chonkers updates. Let's go now to NBC News.
On this sunny Tuesday, the sea lions are putting on their usual show for the droves of tourists who've come by to Pier 39 to check them out.
It was massive. Just laying there, and I didn't have a care in the world.
She's talking about chonkers. That's what someone on social media has dubbed them. The large male California sea lions that gather out here at Pier 39 usually weigh between 800 and 1,000 pounds. But stellar sea lions, that's what chonkers is, they're about double the size. They estimate that he weighs about 2,000 pounds. According to the Pier 39 harbor masters, he's come to visit occasionally over the last few years. This month-long residency has made him a bit of a star here. Pier 39's Sheila Chandor says he's likely here now because the bay has plenty to feed on. According to the Pier 39 harbor masters, the best time to get a look at him is in the mornings till about 9:30 and in the afternoons and evenings. In the middle of the day, Chonkers is usually out in the bay fishing.
Yes, thank you to NBC News. The Harbor Masters?
Harbor Master.
The Harbor Masters.
You know what a harbor master is?
What is a harbor master?
Well, the master of the harbor. They take care of the harbor.
Massive, laying there, and I didn't have a care in the world.
Well, Chris, I have a live cam at Chonkers once again. I'm looking for...
are you a harbor master
our
over there?
buddy Chonk right now.
Chonkers.
Right now, I'm looking for him. He is nowhere to be seen. It is past his nap time. He is probably fishing right now in the harbor. I don't see chonkers. I see many a sea lion.
Okay, no chonkers, though.
I don't see a chonk. Oh, wait. We've got movement in the bay. We've got movement in the bay.
Male.
No, do you see a large male?
I don't see, I see a couple large males, but none of them are chonkers. Wait, hold on. I've got movement. Nope, not chonkers.
Just not, you don't see the
large male.
No,
I don't see a 2,000-pound male.
You're not a harbor master.
I'm not.
That's for sure.
Massive.
I'm about
there.
I'm about a harbor boy.
I didn't have a care in the world.
That lady doesn't sound okay. She all right?
No.
Massive, laying there.
People are just milling about, waiting to feast their eyes on chonkers.
Yes, the large male, yes.
The large male.
Easy, yeah.
I had tassels on my pasties.
Yeah, watch out, QVC lady.
Well, careful.
That was the lady that called into QVC with the pasties on.
I don't want to see chonkers with pasties on.
I had tassels on my pasties.
No, you don't. But yes, chonkers.
The large male.
Yes, the large male sea lion. Yes, he is a viral sensation. So that's the news report from NBC News.
Oh, we got some pointing. We've got some pointing.
Wait, you've got the camera on the people?
No, I've got some. Look. Nope, no chonkers.
No, I know, but the people are pointing?
The people were pointing at something, yeah.
Please no. Please no.
I'm just looking for chonkers.
Just leave chonkers alone. The 76ers, can they win this series against the Celtics? We talk about it next.
The large male.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago, on the air until 3 Eastern, and then we'll hand it off to Jim Rome right here on Westwood One Sports. It's a Friday. Your calls are welcomed. All calls are welcomed at 310-840-4910. You can always call or text the show at that number. Last night, the 76ers beat the Celtics 106-93. They force Game 7 tomorrow, Saturday night in Boston. Can the Celtics continue on with their season? They were heading into this playoff run, even though the Pistons were the number one team in the conference. To me, I thought that Boston was the only team in the East that could actually win the championship. And now they face elimination in a Game 7 against the 76ers. And in the last 3 games, the Sixers have completely taken back the momentum of this series. In the last 2 especially, with Embiid and the way that he's played, to kind of flip the way this series has felt, last night was not even close. This one was all 76ers. It was at home. The crowd was going nuts. There were fast break layup and dunks and the crowd going crazy. So Philly, Boston, tomorrow, Game 7. Can't wait to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great one. I think that you have to get an effort that you got from the 76ers last night again at home that has to translate on the road. Everything went according to plan for the 76ers because in a series like this, in the playoffs, you have certain games where, Paul George will have a great night, but everybody else kind of falls off. Joel Embiid will have a great night. Everybody else kind of falls off. Last night, you had Tyrese Maxey have 30 points, but also Paul George had 23. You had Joel Embiid, had 10 rebounds. Kelly Oubre was playing great defense too. So everything worked out well where everybody was playing their best basketball last night, and it worked out to where at some points they were up 20 points on the Celtics.
Yep.
So you're right. Last night was everything coming together perfectly, and they just smothered the Celtics with defense, and the Celtics had no answer whatsoever. That has to happen on the road when the crowd is not going to be with you. The crowd is going to be against you on the road, and the Celtics are going to get that effort from their other role players. Their bench players are going to be playing better. Their other guys are going to be playing at their best. Jason Tatum, who said his leg was a little sore, he's dealing with some stiffness. He's going to be good to go for Game 7. So they should be ready to go and everybody should be healthy. You need everybody to be playing for the 76ers the way they had that effort, because no one can have a down night if you want to completely take the crowd out of it and not have them be a factor and go up and have that big of a lead again and just completely take the Celtics out of this game once again like you did last night.
30 minutes ago here on the show, Raj asked us to fill in the blank. Who's the best team in the East? Who's the team that could come out of the East to get to the NBA Finals? I don't know. And we're talking about who's the favorite now. If Philly wins this series, I would put my money on Philly getting to the finals. And you're right. It is usually something pops up. There's always something to why. There's a reason why Philadelphia just never lives up to the potential that they have as a team. And that the same goes to Joel Embiid. There's always something, an injury, that. It doesn't usually work. Mm-hmm. With that said, I think this is a tougher team than what New York has. I think this is a tougher team than what Cleveland has. And I don't really think that the Pistons are going to get out of the first round. So Orlando, to me, doesn't factor into this conversation. If Philadelphia knocks off Boston, I think they have a chance to get to the finals. I really do. And I'm not just saying that to make some proclamation, some grand hot take type of thing. Just watch the games. They have a player who, when he's right, there is nobody in the Eastern Conference that can contend with that. And so even if you say, okay, well, New York has a good squad, they play good defense, they've got Jalen Brunson. Yeah, but is it good enough to counterbalance what Embiid brings to the table? And that's before you even talk about Tyrese Maxey and Paul George and Kelly Oubre. And Oubre and George, to this point, here at the end of this series, the last couple of games, the defense that they've played on the wing star players for the Boston Celtics have changed the series just as much as Joel Embiid coming back healthy. Because having Oubre and Paul George on the wing playing great defense against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum has really stopped this Celtics offense. And then the others on the Celtics offense, they're struggling from deep. You know, Derek White only had 11 points. He went 3 of 8 from the field. He shot 3 of 6 from 3. You look at some of the other players, the Celtics are not getting help from their bigs off the bench. Vucevic and Garza, they're not doing anything. Combined 11 points in 28 minutes for the two of them and 4 rebounds. Mm-hmm. So that's off your bench, the bigs, and they can't stop Joel Embiid. Peyton Pritchard had 14 off the bench, but he shot 1 of 8 from 3. I mean, he's a game changer when he's on from 3, and we've seen that at earlier points in the series. When he's making the three-point shots, he's lethal. But Boston really struggled offensively, and I do want to give the credit to the defense that was being played by the wings from the 76ers. And, you know, it's also one of those things, like, we discuss all these different elements to why the Sixers have had success. And I said that, yeah, it took us a while to get to Tyrese Maxey, who had 30. Okay? I mean, if you're looking ahead to a series against the Knicks, you know, Tyrese Maxey is going to be a problem for New York the same way CJ McCollum was a problem for New York at the start of that series.
Yeah.
New York figured it out. They advanced last night. They kicked the living blank out of the Hawks last night. That wasn't even a game. I mean, you're up by 25 in the first quarter. It was check out something else. There's a good thing there were 3 games on last night.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't the only standalone game. And VJ Edgecombe has played well in these playoffs too. So a rookie on the big stage has had a good series. So I think it's great tomorrow. I think there's a lot of questions to see whether or not Boston can show up tomorrow night in Game 7 and fight back. And can Jaylen Brown give us a performance that we saw for the entire season? I mean, he carried this team this year. He was an MVP candidate this season because he was so good. Can he show up? Can Tatum battle some soreness and the fact that he's not completely 100% at home with the home crowd? I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a great matchup.
It's really surprising how out of sorts the Celtics have been in this series and how they haven't been able to just turn it on and hit a bunch of threes like they usually have or play the defense that they have been able to play throughout the season. And we've seen them, been accustomed to see them play in the playoffs, and how for some reason this 76ers team, even without Embiid, have been able to kind of, you know, give them these games. And how I thought after the first loss that they had in this series, it would be the one where they just kind of took the night off and then they'd be able to turn it back on right after that. And they haven't been able to. They just haven't. And I'm very surprised that they are usually the team that can just flip the switch. And for some reason, I don't know if it's Tatum coming back from the injury and he's lost a little bit lost a step in coming back just because he's not in basketball shape just yet. It takes, with this injury, it just takes a while for you to get back and to get that step. I'm not taking anything away from the player because of that injury, but it takes a while. And so maybe that is it. But you're right. Jaylen Brown has been out of sorts too. He was great the entire regular season when Tatum was out, and we're seeing that in this playoff series, he just hasn't been that MVP type of candidate. They're going to need that kind of effort in Game 7 and from everybody else to end this series with a win and for them to move on and face the Knicks in the semis in the next series, for sure.
Yeah, and congrats to the Knicks. I thought that the series would go 7. They were better than the Hawks.
Yeah,
in the last 3 games, they were way better than the Hawks. Mm-hmm. And so when we look at the game last night, the Knicks win 140-89. They move on. They win this series 4-2. They await the Celtics or the 76ers on that side of the bracket. And then on the other side, I mean, I'll give the East this. Even if you want to have the argument or the debate whether or not teams are viable championship level teams, at least we got 4 good series, right? Like all 4 series in the Eastern Conference, And I think I gave you the quote yesterday, or the stat yesterday, that it was like 2014 the last time that the East had 4 first-round series that all went to 6 or 7 games. I was wrong. 2003.
Oh, okay.
2003 was the last time the Eastern Conference had 4 series that didn't include, a gentleman's sweep or a sweep. So it's been good basketball. And the Raptors and the Cavs, good series. I'm interested in seeing what the Magic do tonight against the Pistons at home in Game 6. So we'll continue to talk some basketball as we go along here on Bleck and Abdalla on a Friday on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. If you want to join the show, you can call us at 310-840-4910. Throughout the week, we have been recapping the NFL draft, and each day there's a little bit more that you can kind of chew on to look back on how the draft went. You gave us Mike Sando's article from yesterday on NFC teams grading the NFL draft and the executives that he talked to in The Athletic to then give their response on what they saw from the NFC.
Yes.
Today they released the AFC version of that same article. So Sando's executives telling him how they grade the NFL draft.
Yeah, so Mike Sando does this every year. Like you said yesterday, NFC execs talked about the NFC, and today, he talked to a bunch of execs around the NFL, and they talked about the AFC teams and some interesting ones. The Jets had a ton of picks in the draft. They had a bunch of picks. They had 3, ended up with 3 in the first round, a second-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks as well. So one exec said, the draft I really like, and this is kind of crazy, is the Jets. Typically, I don't like tight ends in the first round, but setting aside that and just looking at their roster and what they've done, this is funny, they are a competent quarterback and a good play caller away from having a really good offense.
Can I add one more thing to the recipe for the New York Jets? One more thing. All right, so say that again. They need a competent play caller.
And a quarterback.
A quarterback. Can I add one more thing for the Jets and Jet fans?
Yeah.
A head coach. I think the Jets, if they get a head coach, a play caller, and a quarterback, they're going to be dangerous. Watch out for the Jets. If they can get a head coach, a play caller, and a quarterback, this team can go places. I agree. I think dead on. I'm with you on that.
The exec did add, I know those 2 things are very important, but they have the framework of a really good offense and the ability to get a good quarterback after this season and the potential to be a lights out team. That's what they said.
I'm not doing a bit.
No,
I'm being
I know.
serious.
I know.
I'm kind of being funny about it though, because I think they are just a good head coach who's a offensive play caller and a quarterback away from being a really good team.
Well, I think they've set themselves up that way by not taking the quarterback early in the draft. And everybody was kind of like, are they going to take Ty Simpson late? Are they going to do that? Are they going to go with Geno this year? And they've set themselves up to be a team that is solid on defense, not great on offense, and set themselves up for Dante Moore, Arch Manning, one of those quarterbacks next year. And I think that that's smart by them. A team that is kind of in flux this year because their quarterback, and they didn't have a good year, but everybody expects them to be right back in the mix, is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs traded up for Mansour Delane, and one exec said, I think LSU corner Mansour Delane is the defensive rookie of the year. Okay. The movement, the skills, the production on the ball, the physicality. They got a cost-controlled guy. Remember, they traded Trent McDuffie to the Rams. They got a cost-controlled guy who is going to be really productive, and they moved up to get him instead of waiting to see what happens. I give them credit when a lot of people thought they were going to sit tight and take an offensive lineman. But did they need to trade up 3 spots? Mansour does compare to McDuffie, so this is a good thing. Another exec said, I think they wanted that third round pick. It could have cost them from getting a receiver, but they got the guy that they wanted. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was impressed by Mansour Delane. When we talked to him on draft night, I think I like his attitude, and I like I think he's a really good player, and I think it fits, and I think it makes a lot of sense that a lot of the conversation heading into the draft, why would you trade away Trent McDuffie? Well, it's cost control, right? And if you can get someone who essentially steps in at the rookie scale, who can give you something comparable and then you can grow with that player. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't really necessarily agree with everything else that the Chiefs have done in their offseason. And I know if we're stacking the conference, they're still looking like a wild card team.
Yeah.
At best. Mm-hmm. But besides that, I do like what the Chiefs did in the draft.
And how about the most important team? The team with the number 1 overall pick.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
What do execs think that they are going to do with Fernando Mendoza now that he is officially a Las Vegas Raider? One exec said.
I hope that the executives would say they'll play him.
One exec says, I think Mendoza will thrive there with Clint Kubiak, but it will take 2 or 3 years.
Whoa.
They just don't have a good team.
2 to 3 years?
Well, for him to thrive.
Okay.
They just don't have a good enough team right now. Another exec said, I like what they've done in terms of creating an environment for their young quarterback. They have an uphill battle in that division, but just from a foundational standpoint, they've built it in a smart way. Kirk Cousins can hold the fort. You turn to your number 1 pick when he's ready. And then you have a center in Tyler Linderbaum that should be playing with him for hopefully the majority of his career. A third exec said, all indications are that they are going to make Mendoza sit.
Yeah, I mean, those are the indications. I agree with that exec. I agree 100%. I don't agree with the premise.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
It's not going to work.
I would not do it. And we talked to a former exec in Mike Mayock, who was an exec with the Raiders.
Yes, yeah.
And he told us the exact same thing. Don't do it. Wouldn't do it. Would have him go out there and play. Go out there if you had him ready. Go out there and play.
It's just when you look at it, like I guess what I struggle with in the concept of, and I get it, football people know far more than we do. We just watch. Mm-hmm. We love football. We consume it, but we're not coaches. We didn't play the game either. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to act like we did.
Yeah.
I just, from my vantage point, it seems to me the biggest learning curve in playing in the National Football League, going from college and having a lot of success in college football, is the speed of the game.
Yeah.
It's the speed of the game, and that is not only on the field during plays, but also the speed of the game in between plays.
Yeah.
And why is that important specifically for a quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
It is specifically important for a quarterback because the learning curve is so vastly challenging for a quarterback based on the way that they coach quarterbacks in college.
Yeah.
The way they coach quarterbacks in college is nothing like the way a quarterback is being coached in the NFL and the way a quarterback has to relay a play to 10 other teammates in a huddle with 40 seconds counting down, someone in your headset, the headset turning off when you get to 15 seconds left on the clock. And then you also not only have to do all that, you have to then get to the line of scrimmage, find your middle linebacker, find your guys that you have to worry about, your extra protection, and then you have to figure out how to conduct a great play.
Yeah.
And you and I were at the Super Bowl, and we got a chance to talk with Cowboys quarterback Joe Milton.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe gave us a full NFL play call. Oof. And you can find it on the podcast page of Bleck Abdalla. Just find it on Apple or Spotify. It's up there. And in the conversation, we talked to him for 20 minutes? It was great. And in that conversation, he explained to us that, A, some play callers are annoying in the headset, and he would hope that they would just stop talking because they talk too much.
Yeah.
And then, B, he needs to think through all this stuff in real time and then conduct the play.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, for you and I also love watching college football, so, like, we understand it. But if you don't really watch college football, in some offensive systems, a lot of what you run offensively is a base set that they are just changing a few things off of the base set. And that's why all of the players on the offense, outside the offensive line, each and every down, they all turn and they look to the sideline. and they wait for the coaches to hold up either the sandwich boards, or there's a coach giving hand signals.
Yeah.
Right? And what they're doing is they're telling each player the role on that one play, and that's all that they're doing.
Yeah, and then what's their hard count?
And it's a clap, right? The clap, and you go. And there's no changing of that stuff. There's no manipulating the formations in the huddle. There's none of that. They just run the play. Mm-hmm. And there's various reasons, and we don't have to necessarily get into it today on why college teams are doing that. A lot of it is because if you can speed up the offensive system and process, you keep the defense on their heels. And so in college football, when that's a part of the battle, it's like it's easier to play your offense that way. Mm-hmm. It's just quarterbacks are not prepared to jump directly into the NFL. And if that's the biggest piece of learning that has to take place, you should probably throw the kid into the deep end of the pool and let them learn as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that what the Raiders are telling people and what we've been hearing is that that's not what they're going to do. They are going to go through this situation, and they're going to start Kirk Cousins, which I think is a mistake. And if they're going to split reps, like here's what you're going to do. If you're going to start Kirk Cousins, give him all the reps and give Mendoza the second team reps. And then Mendoza starts the preseason games.
Yeah, but that it doesn't help the kid play.
Then why did you give Kirk Cousins $20 million?
You shouldn't have.
Of course you shouldn't have. Of course you shouldn't have. You know where Kirk Cousins should be? He should be in Denver. Just in case.
Oh, how about that, Raj?
He should be there just in case.
Send him to Denver.
He should be there just in case Bo Nix can't start.
I'd be cool with Kirk Cousins as a
there
backup.
You go, see?
As a backup,
I live through
yes,
City. Yeah, I'd be cool with a backup.
As a backup, yes, exactly.
Backup.
All right,
Backup
how about this? How about another quarterback name where there's a rumor that he may have a new team? That's right, Russell Wilson. Where will he be this fall? We will talk about that coming up next.
George Pickens signed his franchise tag, but still isn't locked in long term. Does the star receiver continue catching passes from Dak in Dallas? Or will Pickens get traded before training camp? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
All right, there's a quarterback that's out there. He's on the market. He's looking for a team. And there's reports that he may have a new team. The quarterback is Russell Wilson. Where could Russell Wilson play football this upcoming fall? Well, what if he doesn't play football? There are reports from Andrew Marchant in The Athletic that Russell Wilson is in talks with CBS to join the NFL Today crew. Russell Wilson may go to TV, and that would be the end of his career, is that he would go to TV and he would retire and he won't play football this upcoming season. Now I saw this story, and I asked myself, who wants to watch Russell Wilson talk about football?
Not me.
Am I being mean by asking that? What?
I mean, a little bit.
Like, of all the players and all the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like, do you really care what Russell Wilson has to say about the game?
Okay.
And like the persona that he has, that where he comes across as
unlimited.
Yeah, Mr. Unlimited. He just comes across as phony. Inauthentic.
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't need to see that on my NFL pregame show.
Here's my thing with Russell Wilson, okay? A couple years ago, I think, a year ago, Pablo Torre of Pablo Torre Finds Out.
Yes.
He found something out.
About Russell Wilson.
Okay,
what did he find out?
He talked to now NFL analyst Nate Tice, who at the time, back then, was a backup to Russell Wilson at Wisconsin.
Yes, he was a quarterback at Wisconsin.
And he was
at the same time Russell Wilson was there.
And it was like an in-depth interview with him, with Nate Tice, about Russell Wilson. And basically just talked about how like everything Russell Wilson does is scripted. And everything Russell Wilson says in interviews is predetermined. And he has like a canned answer. And if you listen to his answers to questions in the media. Everything is very like, this is what a quarterback would say in this situation. This is a cliched answer. This is a cliche. He speaks in sports and quarterback cliches. It never seems like you get an honest answer from Russell Wilson.
Mr.
And
Unlimited.
Yeah, Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited has very limited answers.
With his spicy sandwich from Subway.
Very limited.
Remember that? The spicy sandwich?
So him being on, whether it's on a desk or in a booth, having to be spontaneous.
Ooh, that's not going to work.
And having to go with the flow.
Okay.
I don't think that this is going to, and like having to riff with the guys.
With the bros?
I don't think that this is going to.
You don't think he's going to be able to cut it with Nate Burleson?
I don't think so, man. I just don't.
Okay, let me ask you this, though, because I feel as if some of your worry is also the same thing that we knock someone else who has been on TV for an extended period of time, who is, in my eyes, a Hall of Famer. I don't care what old crotchety baseball people say. He's a Hall of Famer. It's Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod on the Fox set for Major League Baseball, it has been written about that he's not someone that can go off script, and there's the stories that are out there.
That's fair.
That he needs the cue cards written up for him. And like whenever he said something, it's something that someone else gave to him.
There's a little bit of a difference between the draw of Alex Rodriguez and the draw of Russell Wilson.
Oh, that's well, I mean, one's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Quarterbacks are almost always above everyone else.
Yeah, but
in the hierarchy of sports media.
Yeah, but A-Rod is A-Rod, man.
Yeah, but quarterbacks who won Super Bowls, there's not too many.
Super Bowl.
All right, but there's not too many quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls. A Super Bowl. A Super Bowl.
How many World Series rings does A-Rod have?
I don't know, man. I feel like the criticism for A-Rod of not being spontaneous and that he goes off of the little cue cards and whatever the guy in the truck is putting together in his ear set, right? His little headset on the stats that he has. Like,
okay.
Like, because here's my point. When you watch that baseball show on Fox, Ortiz is hilarious.
Yes, Ortiz is great.
Somehow Jeter shows personality.
Yeah,
like
but
Jeter's kind of cool. Burkhart's good.
Yeah.
And they're all being guys, being dudes, right?
Dudes being bros,
and then
man.
A-Rod has to like awkwardly say, well, did you guys see the stat? Like, and he reads the stat, and it's like, you're not fitting in with what they're doing, A-Rod. And
I know.
And all I'm saying is, he's been there for a while.
I understand that.
I don't know if people think he's good at it, but he's out there.
But he's there because he's A-Rod.
Of course, he's Russell Wilson.
But Russell
Mr.
Wilson,
Unlimited.
But Russell Wilson isn't A-Rod. I don't think you understand the appeal of A-Rod. Like, he's Alex Rodriguez,
I don't think you understand the
man.
appeal of quarterbacks who have won a Super Bowl in this country.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson has only done...
It's spicy. He has the spicy sandwich from
Russell
Subway.
Wilson, what he has done to his career in the last, 3 years... He has fallen off, man.
Oh, yeah, of course he's fallen off.
Here's where I'll say he could be decent. The only way I could see this working out is if he's not at the desk and if he's in a booth and just has to walk in, do the commentary, and do that. Or, hit my microphone, or...
Russell Wilson would never.
Russell Wilson would have a little lapel mic. Or if they use him to do interviews. Like, what if Russell Wilson is the traveling man that goes and talks to other athletes?
Could you imagine if he's like between two ferns?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's sweaty Zach Galifianakis.
He's trying to talk to quarterbacks in quarterback rooms.
Yeah.
And they're just looking at him like, dude, are you okay?
Yeah, he's quarterback to quarterback. And he just goes to different sites. And each week, it's a different quarterback. And it's quarterback to quarterback. And this week he's talking to Baker Mayfield. Quarterback to quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know if other football players respect Russell Wilson that way because
they don't.
Exactly. Because of
they don't.
Him being called out in the media previously for being phony and scripted and everything.
I know they don't.
So I don't think that would really fly.
I know they don't.
But that's the report today, is that Russell Wilson is in talks to go to TV, and that CBS, the NFL Today on CBS, would be the leader pursuing Russell Wilson.
I just think that it's not. Listen, I understand that you want you want to keep working, man, and that's how you do it.
I mean, okay, like for example, take a listen to this. So this was back when Russell Wilson was with the Broncos. The setup is this. This is a piece of audio that on the Bleck Abdalla show we have been playing for years to build our case that Russell Wilson's a bit of a phony. It was said that he used his wristband to call plays in the huddle. I believe originally it was Pete Carroll who said that, correct?
Yes.
It started with the Seahawks.
Yes.
Pete Carroll told the media that Russell Wilson uses the wristband to call plays in the huddle. So the media then in return went to Russell Wilson and asked him about using the wristband in the huddle, and it wasn't on Russell Wilson's script, and he was completely thrown off. Take a listen to this.
I don't know exactly what he said, but I think, won a lot of games there without one on the wrist. Put it, and I didn't know winning or losing mattered if you wore a wristband or not. But I think that we do whatever it takes to make sure that we're rolling and moving and everything else. The few times I've definitely worn a wristband, depending on the game plan and what we have called and all that stuff. But yeah, I think every game matters. Obviously now, it always does. And you got to have a playoff mentality right now. This is one of those things that you approach, this week, and understand that you're playing a great football team, the Tennessee Titans. They do a lot of great things across the board. We got to be at our best, and we got to bring our A game, and that's what we're looking forward to is preparing at the highest level this week. The only thing that matters is today. All the other stuff down the road doesn't really matter. And so at the end of the day, we have a great practice today. We've got to make sure that today's practice is excellent at the highest level.
Yeah, so it's the start of that clip is the important part. Is the stuttering and the awkwardness and the cringe that came from Russell Wilson trying to hide the fact that he uses a wristband in the huddle, but wasn't the coach called?
And that's my point. When you get caught off guard with a question or like you're trying to riff or something, and I understand, look, when you're on these shows that are an hour long before a game on Sundays, every segment is scripted.
It's all scripted.
Everything is regimented. You know all the questions. You know all the segments. You know everything. So he's going to have time to plan this stuff out.
It's not 3 hours of radio every day. I mean, come on.
No. It's not. So you're not talking about chonkers.
Right.
Not at all. Or book it.
Yes,
not at all.
Exactly.
Or finger lock gate.
Yeah.
I had tassels on my pasty.
Yeah, so,
not at all.
Or tassels on your pasty.
Oh, cross buckles country. That's right.
But
or
do you
pilots
think,
barking
he's
and
going
yelling
to
at
break
each
bad
other
on players or something like that? No, absolutely not.
I don't think that's the case either.
But I also don't think people are going to tune in and be like, "Ooh, I wonder what Russell Wilson's going to say."
No chance at all. That's why when I saw this story, I thought to myself, the first thing I wrote down on this piece of paper: who wants to watch him?
Yeah.
Who's asking for Russell Wilson to be a part of a TV crew?
I mean, I think he would be better served in a booth. I think that's where he would be best served.
Game analysis? I could see that.
He would instantly.
I could see it.
CBS.
Just because you're just reacting to what's happening in front of you. He doesn't have to come up with opinions.
Do you think he'd be better than Tony Romo?
Yeah, maybe. He might be.
Jam? CBS is 2-second crew, and then he gets moved to the one crew all of a sudden?
Whatever Romo did to bamboozle everyone into thinking that he was good on TV, congrats to him.
Well, he was a cowboy. That's what he did.
No, I know, but the way that people fawned over the first couple broadcasts that Romo had because he was guessing the plays because he was still in the league, so he knew what the calls were.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the moment he got removed from the modern offense, and now he doesn't do that at all because he doesn't know. And he doesn't study, it's like, well, yeah, that's what you get.
All you had to do is have a star on the side of your helmet, and you're guaranteed to get a spot right away.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, sponsored by Progressive Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at ProgressiveCommercial.com. We have game 6s in the NBA. Can the Lakers take out the Rockets tonight, or can Houston without Durant force a game 7? We'll talk about that next.
Aaron Rodgers still hasn't decided if he's returning.
I thought at this point we would have known by now that he was going to play.
If the future Hall of Famer walks away, the Steelers will turn to a quarterback competition featuring Drew Aller, Will Howard, and Mason Rudolph. Not the plan, but is it their future? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Make sure you download the podcast of Bleck and Abdalla on Apple and Spotify. Also, you can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bleck and Abdalla Show. Thank you to Raj and Laura for producing today's show. Jim Rome's coming up in 13 minutes right here on Westwood One Sports. Bleck and Abdalla will be back on Monday, noon to 3 Eastern, right here on Westwood One Sports. Tonight in the NBA, the Magic have a chance to eliminate the Pistons. It's Game 6 in Orlando, 7 o'clock Eastern. The Cavs are on the road at the Raptors. Game 6, the Cavs lead that series 3-2. That's a 7:30 tip Eastern. And then tonight at 9:30 Eastern, the Lakers are on the road at Houston. The Lakers lead this series 3-2. Game 6. Can the Rockets stay alive? Kevin Durant will not play in tonight's game. And the voices and the conversation around LeBron James will only get louder if the Lakers lose and there's a Game 7 on Sunday between the Rockets and the Lakers. LeBron has to take care of business tonight. Get to the second round and then shut up everyone that wants to start chirping about legacy stuff. Because, honestly, in his illustrious career, in all the compiling he's done with the stats and the years that he's played and the championships he's won, this one series has nothing to do with his legacy at all.
No.
But you know that people will talk about it if LeBron can't get it done in a series where the Rockets didn't have Durant and they had the lead and then the Rockets came back down 3-0.
Well, it'd be the only time.
That would be a major conversation.
Yeah, it'd be the only time. If the Houston ends up winning the series, it'd be the only time in NBA history that a team has come down from being down 3-0 to win the series. And LeBron would be a part of that. And I don't think he wants that on his resume. Because you know who doesn't have that on their resume is Michael Jordan.
What was that? You kind of got quiet there and moved away from the microphone.
I'm just saying that there's another player that doesn't have that on his resume. Every player in the NBA, and Michael Jordan is included in that.
Oh, every player that's ever played in the game and Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
yes.
and Michael Jordan. I'm just saying.
Honestly, I think it looks worse for Bronny.
It does. You know, Bronny being a part of that is to start his career.
Yeah,
is not great.
It's not a great way to start, right?
Not great for Bronny.
Your dad gets you a gig, and then boom.
Not great for Bronny.
You're the reason he loses 3-0.
Yeah, little nepotiz.
It's not great for Bronny.
Not great.
You've got you're allowed to play on the team, and yeah, he's improved. But
all those alley-oops don't look so cool now, do they?
Not great if that's the case. It's not great for Bronny. I don't think it really matters to LeBron's legacy, but it's not good for Bronny. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I want to say this with all due respect.
Yeah.
I know this weekend, and especially tomorrow, it's a big day at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Tomorrow is the Kentucky Derby. I say this with respect because Abdalla and I speak for Abdalla, we are not horsemen. I am not a horseman, nor am I a horsewoman. It's just not my thing. I'm not into the horse racing. I'm just not. But I know it's a big deal. And the call to post will be tomorrow at 6:57 Eastern.
Late.
2 minutes, and you're off. Boom, the Kentucky Derby is tomorrow.
Sometimes that's all you need, though.
Yeah, yes. I mean, if you're only concerned about yourself.
Well, I'm just saying.
Large male.
Right. Yes.
I'm just saying that for the horses, that's all they need.
For the race.
Yeah, for the race.
Yes, it is.
For the race.
Yes.
That's all they need. The fastest 2 minutes in sports.
Correct. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yes.
And you know, there's always the person that says, hey, Bleck and Abdalla, How can you not enjoy it? Look how many people watched.
Yeah.
Dude, do you realize they watched for 2 minutes?
Wow.
Like, I get it. You can stare at something for 2 minutes and not have like invested interest.
Like I said.
And I know a lot of people gamble on it.
Yeah.
As the horses round the track.
Yeah.
The large male.
Yep. Okay. That's about the sea lion, but
yeah.
okay.
Well, the large male that I like, Chris.
All right.
Based on
Clip that.
The large male.
Which horse do you
I have
prefer?
no inside. I know nothing. I preface this by saying
there's a lot of experts out there today.
I know. Clip this. I know nothing.
We've listened
about horses.
Oh.
I go based on name and name alone.
Right.
The best and most fun name to say for me is Chief Wallaby.
Chief Wallaby.
Chief Wallaby, because I think Wallaby is a fun name.
That's post 12.
Post 12. His odds are currently, I believe, 9-1. I am going to go as the official Bleck Abdalla pick.
Okay.
Chief Wallaby.
Chief Wallaby.
Don't come after us if he loses, or has to be put down.
Whoa, don't do that to the horse.
Sometimes it happens. That's the risk you take.
It's a possibility in horse
racing.
racing.
You take. It's the only sport where
It's a horse race. It's a possibility.
You don't see that in the NBA. I'm just saying.
Well, that in rock climbing.
Yeah, well, that happens too sometimes.
If you're free solo, there's
free solo. That's
there's
a
two
risk.
options.
That's a risk.
There's
you
get
either
up,
make it to the top,
get up there, and then
or you don't. You don't see that. Jalen Brunson's not going to have a game, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the game, they just.
Okay, all right. What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm just saying, it's the only sport where that could happen.
How about this? You want a fact? I've got a fact for you for
Please
the Kentucky
do.
Derby.
Sure.
Post 5. Well, it doesn't matter because post 5 is scratched.
Well, someone has to take that spot.
Do you want the fact or do they leave it empty?
No, someone takes that spot.
All right, well, here's the fact. Post 5 has produced the most winners.
Okay.
10 winners have come from the 5th position.
They don't just leave that stall empty. Someone takes that spot.
Okay, well, whoever gets placed in 5,
okay,
the winner of the Derby has come from that spot 10 times.
All right.
So I'm just giving you facts, man.
Okay.
Just giving you stats and facts on the Derby, on the horses.
Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Are you going to wear a big hat tomorrow?
I'll probably wear a hat, but not a festive, not a fancy hat.
No big hats? You've been to the Kentucky Derby.
I have been to the Kentucky Derby. It was fun, actually. It's a lot of fun. It was fun.
I'm sure it is. Again, I started this conversation by saying, with all due respect, it's just not for me, but I understand people really enjoy it.
I know nothing about trifectas and superfectas and
What
none
about
of
the
that
box?
stuff. I know nothing about the box.
Did you put it in the box?
The large male.
Easy.
Easy, buddy.
What are you doing?
Easy. I know nothing about that.
You know what's sad is someone taught me once or tried to teach me.
Yeah.
And I just looked at them with a blank face and I was like, it's not sticking.
What I did when I was there is I stood next to someone who did, and I just did the same thing they did, and I walked out with a lot of money.
Well, yes. Yeah, if you use someone as a cheat.
Yeah. There's nothing. They didn't care. It's not. They also walked out with a lot of money.
Yeah, right. Okay, all right. I guess that's a better tactic.
It's not like I'm betting against them. I was betting with them.
You know what? I should applaud you, right? So there you go. There's our Kentucky Derby preview. Here on Bleck Abdalla. Thank you, Laura, for the music. It's fantastic. Yes, a horse with no name.
We have a horse with a name, though. Chief Wallaby.
I would say this. I guess I'll applaud you. That's better than using AI.
Yeah,
to come up with your answers.
We didn't have that option back then.
Yeah, just good old-fashioned cheating.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Now everyone just uses AI, which isn't that just cheating?
Kind of.
For everything?
Sure. I guess.
What's his name? Chief Wallaby?
Chief Wallaby.
All right, Chief.
The large male.
Yes, we'll be back on Monday. Jim Rome is coming up next.
This is Westwood One Sports.